Well, welcome, radio listening audience. You're tuning in to Help by Design radio broadcast. And I'm your host, Dr. Surette Sands. And, we're excited to be here today. God is so good. God is doing a marvelous work. And I pray that all is well where you are. And I know that He's able. That's the one thing we know, that even if He didn't do another thing for us today, He is able. So I'm coming to you listening wherever you are on radio, listening on radio, Help by Design radio broadcast, or whether you're listening on Facebook or YouTube. We want to welcome you to our broadcast. God wants you whole in every area. And I just want to thank you for tuning in into today. Yeah, I want to thank you. We have a great program today. Program is this Help by Design broadcast and Help by Design. I'm going to go ahead and have a topic that is health awareness month. So we want to come to you and bring to you some very important information that we'll want to share that may be able to enlighten you and bring you into a better place of understanding. So if you have someone that you'd like to go ahead and have them join the broadcast, have them connect with us here. We are month, and we are going to be talking about some topics emphasis this month, as well as we had the mental health workshop. We wanted to come back to you. I know that our guest today is going to also be able to assist us to get the information that we need for the communities, so that we can definitely make a difference and impact. And we have some questions that we have prepared, and our guest is going to, after we introduce our guest, she will be able to give us an update and enlighten us on what we need. Contact any person that can ask them to join us today. Also, ask them to come in and go on Facebook Live. You will be able to also submit your questions as well. So we are very delighted. We're very happy to have you here today. Um, thank you once again for tuning in to the broadcast. And we want to welcome you today. We'll do is we will go ahead and continue on and get ready to introduce our guest for today. And we'll go ahead and get started and get ourselves informed and get ourselves up to date. So as usual, when you're on the broadcast, we generally give you some updated information. Just really quick by way of announcements. If you need prayer, we do always invite you to 241 or let's give the prayer number, contact number, but the prayer line is the 954 488 2770. Is there. So if you need to get in touch with us Alpha Health at bellsouth.net, or you can go on the website. Some exciting news. The website has been updated and upgraded. www.alphahealthoutreach.org. You can go on the community based outlook on the kingdom, the community, we have a kingdom mindset when it comes to all of those things. We are not traditional, and that Alpha Health Outreach is not traditional in the sense we believe that each and every person is important, from the little children all the way up to the adults. So that's why we have empowerment meetings, conferences adults, men, and women. So we do believe in empowering women as well as the youth. So each and every one who wants to participate with and bind and connect with us, we have a place for you. Whether you're youth, we have a place in the youth for the youth, so you can help build teams, and we also building up of your annual conference. For the women, you can connect. Let us know what your ideas are. For our women, what you want to see happen, Beauty Inside Out, and then we'll build and we'll have our conference year. We just came off we're still connecting, we're still going out. We're doing a lot. So www.alphahealthoutreach.org. Also, we're connecting and helping to build when it comes to impact community needs assessment and those who are less fortunate. So we are moving forward. About our any technical difficulties today. We're just gonna press on in. Anyhow, we are really determined to get our speaker on today. So again, I would just want to go ahead and introduce our speaker today. We can just kind of move on, and I've given you ways to contact, join in, be a part. You know, it's all up to you. It's all up to me. Uh, Brittany Raiford is a social change and community impact leader. She's an author, organizational leader who addresses the intersection between spiritual development and mental health, healing from the inside out. And she's hailing from the DC metropolitan area. Brittany is the curator of Pillow Talk. Wow, Pillow Talk. We need that for our women, intimate conversations. And she's also concentrated, especially in trauma recovery. We need that, as well as personal and professional development. We need that. She commits life's work to safe haven and mental health service facilities for for women and communities who have limited resources and for mental health and treatment and sustainability and consistent inpatient and outpatient care. We need that. And who are experiencing the unfortunate ordeals of trauma, domestic violence, addiction, and abuse. Though through her philanthropic efforts, Brittany will be opening her inaugural mental health service facility, Love Light Initiative Center. Wow. And in addition, other facilities and social services owned by Brittany include the she will give more in depth information about it. And it's the House of Open Hearts. Brittany has earned her bachelor's of science degree in business project management from Liberty University. She's pursued of her master's in human services and trauma counseling, and then she is also helping with a child and adolescent psychology. Brittany has been invited Forbes Forbes to be a part of the Forbes Women's Forum. That's wonderful, and to be a part of the networking platform for leading women who dialogue and share ideas during this challenging time. That's very important. We want to be a part of that. Brittany has been invited to the Forbes, and also another thing about Brittany is that she has the prophetic and apostolic voice. That's very important to hear and have a voice in this season, because we're in a time, sometimes it seems like we're in a kind of a dark hour. Brittany's desire for the earth is to experience heaven throughout the Vedic worship and social and soul effect biblical teaching, operation healing. I cannot even do the justice because her resume is so powerful. Cannot do the justice to be able to give all the accolades and credits that she deserves. But I want to at least welcome her to our broadcast so that we will be able to give and information that will be make an impact and a difference. Welcome, Brittany Raiford. Thank you for joining us today. How are you? How are you doing? How are you doing?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of this discussion today. I'm doing so well. I look forward to diving into health and work and the intricacies and importance of mental health in the workplace and how employers can help to benefit the employees in that nature. So, and thank you so much again.
Oh, that's awesome, awesome. And I know that we're having a few, just a little bit of technical, but we're pressing in. And those of you out there who know the words of prayer, just and lift up the broadcast in prayer, and that we will be able to have clear communications today. Brittany, I wasn't. I believe that you had just stated that you welcome you to the broadcast. I think I'll go ahead and like I said, as we press on here, uh, tell us a little bit about your background and what projects are you working on today to currently.
Yes, so as you had mentioned before, with my background, I am more so in the human services and trauma counseling and assisting in the community with that. We had, I believe, prior discussed on a previous live about the facilities Love and Light Initiative Center, along with uh, it's really a homeless shelter, but it is the House of Open Hearts as well. And so those are directly targeted towards mental health and those within the community that may be suffering from mental health conditions or that may have any other underlying health issues, along with that, any other co occurring mental health conditions as well. So if they have um, been imprisoned, those programs will help to reduce recidivism and reintroduce them back into the world, along with being able to provide trade programs for them while they're being treated for their mental health condition or seeking that safe haven so that they can heal, get back on their feet, and go back out into the world better than where they came to us. And so those are things that I'm currently working on right now and getting that into the community that I am currently in, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we are going to pretty much start seeking funding for those so that we can actually have those facilities for these communities for men and women so that there can be a change in their lives. So that is what I'm currently working on now.
Oh, wow, that's just wonderful. It came in very clear. I'm very grateful that we could hear you nicely. So that community impact, uh, I just thought of something that I thought because you're very passionate about uh, helping communities, and we do specific questions and stuff. Again, this is Help by Design Radio broadcast. I'm your host in every area of your life. I pray you believe it today, beloved. You can ask someone to join in. We're on Facebook Live, you on King Purpose Radio. We'll also let you know how you can get in touch with Brittany Raiford. You can partner. I see a lot of things doing for the community, for women. There's partnering in every area. But I wanted a question came to my mind is that what made you very passionate to pursue the things that you're doing with mental health and those kind of things?
Yeah, so I started in business, and that's what my undergrad is in. And I think that once I realized so many mental health challenges within the community with those that I was also directly in relationship with, and also with had a safe space to share their thoughts and their feelings. When I saw the influx of those mental health challenges is where my heart grew. It's like a level of empathy that I had never, I'm not sure if I've ever had before, grew and it blossomed into this. I can only credit it to God because I believe it's a part of my purpose and something that He's shown me that needs an area or space for people to be heard, to be seen, and to know that as an individual, you are special regardless of what you experience in life, and that your identity is outside of your trauma and you are not what happened to you. And so I believe that's what really kind of ignited that passion for mental health and being able to bring that to communities that may be marginalized or that may not have all of the resources necessary for them to get the help that they need. So.
Yeah, that's so important. I believe that's kind of in way look at, like, sometimes you don't have to go far. Need to even go farther than your own family that might be suffering from a very stressful or something that's stress or because people don't realize that sometimes it's not. I believe, Brittany, you might agree that sometimes it's not just a person is born and they just because we could probably have some genetic correlation to some of the deeper mental health issues like schizophrenia, different things that are a little bit more deeper. We might could find a little bit of generational or genetic predisposition or something. But then when it comes to just some basic mental health, daily mental health and wellness, well-being, each human being could be at risk depending on what things happen in their life. So come down on the scale just a little bit. When we talk about, just stress, anxiety, depression, paranoia, and things that people tend to have a propensity to, depending on what stress. So, for example, we could probably look at someone that been into the military, went in, they were okay, and they experienced a very traumatic event. Maybe it was an explosion, a death of a friend, or something very traumatic that happened to them, and then they come back. They have what we call post-traumatic stress. People may not even have to go to the military. We hear the term PTSD, post-traumatic stress, or PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD, and we have those types of scenarios. Anyhow, the point I'm making is that when we look at uh, who's impacted and affected by mental health concerns or issues or mental health crises, and I'll let me is just realizing that this is a real concern. And then if we look at it spiritually, okay, so in Alpha Health Intervention, spirit, soul, and body, that you have three areas that you need to fortify and enhance. Your is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Of course, we know mental health month. Interesting enough, we could do a whole topic on dealing with issues in the soul. But what drives me is this the understanding of how mental health at any given time. What do you say about that? Brittany?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I believe that any individual, first off, all people, we all have mental health. There are individuals that would be, of course, diagnosed with a mental illness. But as persons, just like we have physical health, there's mental health that we should also tend to, just like you would go to your doctor for a physical checkup, or you would go to the dentist twice a year. The same would go for your mental health as well. And as you had mentioned about the three, I guess I would say, is the three spheres of the soul, the mind, the will, and the emotions. Um, you were saying that you can just, because of the Mental Health Awareness Month, can just focus on the mind alone or the soul alone. And so I think that those contributing factors that may impact a person's mental health may be due to, you had mentioned stress, it can be their environment. So, for example, today, when we're talking about mental health and work, the working environment can incredibly affect and be a detriment to a person's mental health. And that could be due to stress, that can be due to burnout, or if there's a lack of clarity or leadership within your workplace, that can increase the chances of a mental health challenge for these individuals. I would also add that there's stigma with mental health in general, but especially within the workplace, because you have a mental health challenge in the workplace, and it can prevent the employees from being transparent with those challenges with their superiors. And if it's deemed unsafe for them, or if there is a lack of communication or training for those supervisors to have a level of empathy, then those said individuals can feel unsafe to share those challenges. And so I believe, like, the environment, whether you're at work or if it's in a community or if it's in your home, that can be a great incline or a great detriment to a person's mental health as well. So,
And this is a power pack. Just before we go on to, because I want to comment on that, though I should do that first. That, yeah, but then we're gonna me into trying to go ahead and dive in. Again, you listen to Health by Design Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Surette Sands. We have a guest speaker today, Brittany Raiford, which she has doing a lot of change in the social change in the community, and launching organizations to try to impact community health in the community. And Brittany, if you could, reiterate the organizations that you are in charge of or building, and I know that you said there's an upcoming Project Impact. I just wanted to, for those who just joined the broadcast, just to get a little bit of refresher. We're trying to get those who are planning to be connected. So just give us, just a little bit overview of what your current organizations and maybe what, just highlight a couple of things for us here today.
sure, yeah. So, we are currently cultivating two nonprofits. One is Lebanon Initiative Center, that is a mental health service facility specifically for women. And whether they have gone through abuse or domestic violence, or have had any forms of addiction or any other mental health challenges, that facility is there for them to come and to be treated. To while they're being treated or evaluated, they have the opportunity to learn a trade, depending on how long they're there, depending on what their diagnosis is. But they go through their own individualized program so that they can be treated well and then go back into, or re-entry into the world after that time frame, and also have that outpatient care with us as well, transition from inpatient. The other is a homeless shelter, so that is the House of Open Hearts, and that's for all people. So it's an innovative shelter where we provide services for them. We provide housing and other resources so that they're able to also get back on their feet. So whether it is sometimes I think percentage wise, we look at the percentage of homelessness. One of the greatest, there's a recurring mental illness at times at the same time of that homelessness. And so they would also receive resources for that mental health treatment, along with other classes that may be necessary based on their individual need. So that is what we are currently cultivating, and we'll eventually transition, hopefully launch that into the community.
It's so wonderful, very great. Thank you, everyone who's joined, listening, because also can just for the ones, the person who listen to, whether it be from the church community or whether they be individual, maybe they are social workers, maybe they work in some capacity of mental health. How can they? What is your how we can work together with what your organization is doing? How can we connect with? What's a pathway forward for everyone?
Yes. So right now they can probably contact me directly. Um, if they wanted to learn more about those organizations, um, and how and what we're doing to get those launched. We did have a website, but because of the high inquiries of wanting to volunteer and nursing students wanted to be a part of it, we had to take the website down. But we can be found on Facebook and Instagram for Love and Light Initiative Center and at the House of Open Hearts. You can also, if you want to contact me directly, I can be found on Facebook or my email as well to learn more about what I am seeking to provide to the communities.
You're listening to Health by Design radio broadcast, and we thank you for tuning in today. Uh, and Okay, okay, so we are experiencing just of technical difficulties here today, but we're, like I said, in personal way through our guests today, that of how to get in touch with her, things she's doing, as well as the organization that she's affiliated with, and building and helping the women in the community. Okay, so if you need and so Brittany, I wanted to find out what's important. And again, we're getting a question mental health. Maybe we'll do that first in the so that we'll have some questions for prepared to answer. So we'll go ahead and into the back a little bit more about the women with the for the pillow talk collaboration, or the what for those who are still in the workplace, and some have retired and some have back, but it's something to be aware of. And you touched on it a little bit, but just for what are some of the common, we believe the common, I know I would probably throw stress out there, but challenges at work that people may find in the employment, in the work job site.
Yeah. So before we had talked about stress and how that can be one of the leading factors of poor mental health or challenges within the workplace. And so
Yeah.
I would say it's probably the number one factor. And it can be sourced from whether it's deadlines, whether it is pressure from management or other coworkers, if it's job insecurity, if there are long hours, or if they're being overworked, that can lead to stress within the workplace. Another one I would say probably will be secondary would be burnout. And so that kind of leads back to being overworked. And we can say at least once in their lifetime, all individuals may have experienced burnout as an employee. And so when we think about job burnout, it can be a lack of motivation, a lack of energy. It can be irritability or frustration. It can also be a lack of satisfaction within their workplace if they're not content with the work that they're doing, or they're not reaching their goals or accomplishments that they may have set for themselves. That can also lead to that burnout as well. I would also say if there's a lack of clarity with their role, or if there's a lack of leadership that they're under, that can also lead to poor mental health concerns within the workplace. So that can be communication challenges, that can be poor management, or creating environments that may be tense for them. I believe that would also be a challenge for those said individuals. I think one of the other things that I had mentioned prior was stigma within the workplace, and being able to openly discuss mental health and mental health challenges, because not everyone within the workplace has that type of knowledge of everyone having mental health, but then also having the knowledge of mental illness and being able to communicate that to coworkers and upper level management, so that they're aware of what they can do on their part to make their employee feel more comfortable, and even going to them and sharing what those concerns might be, or what their experiences may be. So that can lead to, again, the unsafe environments. And so that would be a challenge. And I believe directly correlated with that, that would require some level of training for coworkers and for upper level management to go through, so that they can know how to communicate with mental health concerns for individuals, just generally speaking, not just in the workplace, but specifically in the workplace as well. And the last thing I would say is, with the training, I believe it's also difficult to identify what what the signs may be for a mental health challenge that someone may be having. And so if someone is maybe always late all the time, or if they're at work and they have a low level of energy, or their productivity is low, it could be because they're having a mental health concern such as depression. And I believe some people may interpret that as, oh, this person is lazy, or they don't want to work, when it could really just really be like they could be having major depressive disorder. And so I think that there should be a training to be able to identify the signs of it as well. So those are a few things I would say that are common mental health challenges at work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's listening to you. I was just kind of looking at it, proposing a work environment onto what you were saying.
Mm.
It's so true, because I think that training would be a great thing, because you have people that maybe they're taking a management or leadership role, or executive, or and are given that role to say, well, okay, given an assignment to check off a checklist of everyone be able to, again, logging off, logging in the computer, doing a task, is every performing tasks, and sometimes just forgetting that these are still human beings. Maybe they had something that happened to them last night, that morning. Maybe they had a rough commute. Just being, like you said, senses that person might need or what might be experiencing. Not to say that, because everything, if it's on, it might feel like a whole lot of time to address an issue. But if it's something like, are you feeling well, or do you need 5 minutes, or is there anything I can do to help you? That just makes people feel so much at ease. And if it is something more major, then we would, the manager should know how to connect with employee assistance programs, or what kind of mental health direction that they should be able to lead the person in. Okay, so we have another question. We have questions that we prepared. How can issues affect people. With the question here, what workplace factors contribute to poor mental health? Okay, how can employers support employees' mental health? So then those questions are related. That you that up again, then, since those are about two or three questions that are really related. Mental health effect on employees. How can managers or employers support employees' mental health? So we'll just touch on that, just to clarify that part there.
So I'll first go over how mental health issues affect
Thank
work. And so there are, I believe, almost 40% of unresolved depression or mental health conditions, which is directly correlated to productivity within the workplace. And so I believe, as far as mental health issues affecting work, it can directly impact their productivity. And I believe for the employers and the employees, it could be medical costs on both ends, as well as absenteeism, so no longer coming to work because of having those challenges of even being able to do the work, whether it's a loss of interest or that drive to go to work. So I would say one of the greatest barriers within the world and within the workplace is shame and stigma. And I believe that continues to be persistent when it comes to mental health. And so when there's a reluctance to talk about it within the workplace, there is a fear that there may be a mistreatment or even not getting treatment because of those mental health issues. Um, I believe also how mental health issues can affect work is if there's discrimination and they feel like they would be discriminated against if they were to share their mental health concerns. And so I believe, as far as mental health and mental illness, again, it affects all individuals, no matter who you are, your gender, your culture, your race, your religion, whatever your socioeconomic background is. And so we find that depression is the leading cause of disabilities. And it affects most, if not all, people, and to some degree. And they may also experience symptoms or levels of anxiety, and, as you mentioned before, PTSD and other mental illnesses and concerns as well. But I believe, as far as it also affecting work, it can be, we had mentioned the loss of interest. Um, we can, if we focus specifically on depression, it would be the reduction or increase of eating or how they sleep, which directly impacts how they show up to work. If there is a difficulty concentrating, their productivity levels are definitely going to be low. And if there's a feeling of worthlessness, then that affects their self-esteem and how they present themselves to the world. And then there may also be increasing levels or thoughts of suicide. And we know, of course, that would also impact, how we may or may not interact with others. Everyone is different, so that may show differently. But given all of those things and given all of those symptoms, I believe that there has been an increased level of missed days of work. And so studies show that if you do have a mental health concern, such as depression or anxiety, you may miss on average 38 days of work, and your productivity level may be at about a 28% level of productivity at work as well. And so this is a global, I believe it's just a global challenge within the lives of individuals and within the workplace, because, again, we are all human and we all experience some level of mental health concerns that is on a spectrum. And I believe that the employee should be benefiting from the employer's support, given whatever programs that they're able to provide to them, as you had mentioned about the employee assistance program. So. You had also mentioned, I guess I can also go over the other question that you asked as well.
Right now, listen about every area of your life.
Say it again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
And we're listening to saying that we're just glad we getting this information that you're sharing with us today. And it's just because you talked about, I was reading about, you said 40% that unresolved issues. That's pretty of a high number. Gathering here today from the and employees need to be concerned, be aware of that, because even okay today on my and I'm getting need to get and I'm feeling okay. My coworker is sitting there sad at lunch or sitting next to me or across. It's going to kind of, we have, really general care concern about most of us, about our coworkers. So it's important, to that you have been touching on that, and maybe just a little bit more you could touch on. We have our additional question. Thank you, Diane Raiford, and all those who are joining in. You're free to join the broadcast, but thank you so much for joining us today. I just see a couple have joined, a couple people connected today with us. The last question I have here, not the last question and not the last thought on this subject, but what here? Uh, okay, so we talked about how employers can support employees' mental health. For 9 days as a if you have any resource that you can for the explanation, you can just Google that. I don't, it's very easy to find. So for resources, for inside an organization and external, Brittany, if you have any to share today as well for the mental health.
Yes. So I would say, for one, of course, within your workplace, please look into, of course, when you're hired, they share all of the information with you about any EAP programs or wellness programs. And so, with their wellness programs, some should, if not most, should include mental health wellness programs as well. So I would look into that, your employee assistance programs within your workplace. Other resources, as you had stated, like those can be found, looking it up online, but I'll just mention a few, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. You have the World Health Organization. You have, of course, the National Suicide Prevention Line. If you go to their website or you text SHARE to 741-741, they'll be able to assist with any immediate concerns that you may have. Other resources I would suggest would be like counseling.org, American Psychological Association, which is apa.org, as well as the National Institute of Mental Health, and the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. So those are just a handful of resources that can be found for immediate help if you're wanting to look something up or to be of assistance to someone else that may be having a mental health concern, or even for yourself if you need those resources to learn more about it. But I would definitely inquire within your workplace for those. Resources to learn more about it. But I would definitely inquire within your workplace.
Okay, yes. So I want to, what I was trying to do, as I was actually trying to go ahead and type some of those resources. But what we'll try to get done, and maybe Brittany, maybe you'll be able to also, if you're able to, health outreach, Facebook live Facebook page there, and if you're able to go ahead, maybe you could either share them with me directly, and I'll post them and or I'll try to get them done one way or the other on that podcast that'll be on that Facebook page, so that those resources will be handy. And Again, you're listening to Health by Design Radio broadcast. Thank you for those who are joining and those who could join and connect wherever you are and whatever your capacity is. We were just talking about today. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. We were talking a little about last time we were on sharing a little bit about mental health in the church. We're on now sharing about mental health in the work place. So we were that Brittany had given us some examples of what those may be, and how does mental health issues that work. And we talked about productivity being affected as well. She had even gave us statistics of up to 40% of on individuals. She also on performance or just the work or work uh, impact. As a matter of I went there just for a moment because I was just trying to add a little bit of clarity on the impact because I wanted to because I I didn't know what the percentage that that mental health may have on employee and even financial, how someone may be get in touch with you, Brittany.
The broadcast cut out a little bit. You were stating about how they can get in contact with me.
Thank you. And we're still, audience, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. So our speaker is, beginning to share about mental health and work. And all right, I know that there are a few sound issues today. Brittany, can you? Okay. All right. So we're appreciating the
I think I
okay.
can hear
So
you a bit
our
better.
speaker, I don't know if what we're doing right now. Okay.
I can hear you better now. If you can repeat what you asked me so that I can make sure I heard you correctly and answer your question.
Okay. All right. Okay, I can hear you. Yes. All right. Yes. Give us what you yes. We have about 2 minutes left now.
So I believe part of your
So
question
tell
was
the audience if we're how to get in touch.
okay, gotcha. Thank you. Okay, I heard you. Yes, so I can be found on all social media platforms under Brittany Raiford, whether that's Facebook and Instagram. Um, on our business pages, that is Love and Light Initiative Center and the House of Open Hearts. You can also find our YouTube that has a digital series about the necessity of trauma recovery facilities, and that is also Love and Light Initiative Center. If you want to reach out to me personally, you can send me an email directly. That's BrittanyRayford@outlook.com. And I'll be able to further assist with any questions you may have about our initiatives and what we are doing within the community. So thank you so much.
Well, radio listeners, thank you so much, Brittany. This has been phenomenal of the content that was shared here today. We've just been so grateful to be able to bring this topic of health and work in the workplace, also health, and to connect of this information to you format, some sort of digital, some sort of written format because today, there might have been a couple of few technical difficulties that we experienced, but we want to thank you once again for tuning in to Help Our Design Radio broadcast. I'm your host, and God wants you whole in every area of your life. So until next time, uh, have a great and blessed day. Thank you. Until next time. Bye bye.